Hi folks, I'm Leanne. Welcome to Print and Polish. This is where I talk about a book that I read and do my nails at the same time. I'm just learning how to do nail art, so they might turn out, they might not. Let's get started. Today's book is The Bean Trees by Barbara Kingsolver, and it was actually one of my high school reading assignments. I've probably read it over a dozen times and I love it each and every time. It was published in 1988 and it's 232 pages long, so it's not a long read, although if you want more of it, you can always read Pigs in Heaven, which is the sequel. The book focuses on Taylor, who's a young adult who is aching to get out of her small Kentucky town. She drives a completely beater car and decides she's going to pack it up, and wherever this car dies is where she's going to move. I was always kind of jealous of this because I don't have that kind of sense of adventure. I don't follow through with things like that. Anyway, she makes a dinner stop in Oklahoma when she leaves the bar that she ate at, and she's getting into her car, getting ready to leave. A woman comes up with a small child, and I'm talking small, just a couple years old. The lady just gives Taylor this child and walks away. The amazing part here is that rather than hand the child over to the authorities, Taylor takes the kid with her. Now, this little girl, she doesn't talk. She's so traumatized by what happened to her that she just doesn't communicate, doesn't really interact with things around her. Because of her mannerisms, her attitude, the fact that she's indigenous, Taylor names her Turtle. So Taylor and Turtle continue on their road trip with Taylor having absolutely no clue how to parent at all, and they make their way over to Tucson, Arizona, where Taylor's car finally dies, right in front of Jesus is Lord used tires, which is great because Taylor has a massive fear of tires. From here, we meet a whole bunch of new characters, the most important ones being Lueur, who becomes Taylor's roommate. Lueur has a lot of her own issues, such as her husband ran off, leaving her with a new baby, but her time with Taylor helps her immeasurably to find her feet. Another person is Maddie, and Maddie is actually the owner of Jesus is Lord used tires. There's so many things that I could say about Maddie, and the word brave doesn't even cover it. Her home is a stop on a long road for undocumented Guatemalan refugees to find a safe place to live. It's kind of like an underground railroad. The thing with Taylor, though, is that she loves Turtle to bits and would do absolutely anything for her. She helps Turtle come out of her shell, so to speak, and Kiddo starts talking and laughing and making friends and starts accepting what her new and supportive normal is. Things take a very dark turn when there's a threat to have Turtle taken away, and Taylor fights for her. She does everything she can to keep this little girl and to keep her safe from the trauma she's already experienced in her life. Through all of these experiences and all of these people, we can see Taylor grow up into full adulthood before our eyes. She'd always been a responsible type of person, but now we get to see how she not only grows up, but she also grows into motherhood. She's winging it with Turtle, and we see her struggles, we feel them. A lot of times we forget that parents go through it too, even if it's a planned pregnancy. All first-time parents, all experienced parents, there's always situations where you just kind of wing it, and it's really nice to see that in the forefront. At one point, even Maddie mentioned something to this effect. No matter what, this book will always be in my to-be-read pile, always. Every time I read it, I notice different details, more bits of wisdom. There's so many things that I've grown to admire about Taylor, Maddie, even Lueur and their neighbors. When I first read it, the family structure that Taylor created was so unusual and interesting to see. Even now, it's not something that isn't done too often, even though a lot of progress has been made, especially with interracial families, which is awesome. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 for me, strictly based on how many times I've already reread it. I am so incredibly grateful to my high school English teacher for making me read it, although 10 pages in, it was absolutely a voluntary read. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining in. Links to the book and nail products are down in the show notes. If you think of a book that you'd like me to read or a nail design you would like me to try, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like something a little bit different, check out my other playlists where I read classic books like The Count of Monte Cristo. Thanks again and have a great day. I'll see you later.